I think one of the challenges about turbulent times is the tendency to grab out, pull in, hunker in the bunker, when this is the time, most of all, we have to see ourselves as a team. A speech is really a conversation. People need to get together to share best practices, to share camaraderie. More than ever, in times of turbulence, meetings are the key to success. This was a great audience. I felt it went really well. When you give something more than you think you can afford, life gives back to you. Because once we begin to be generous, we discover ourselves living in a generous universe. How y'all? I'm actually from California, and before that, from New Jersey. Anybody else here actually originally from New Jersey? I'm just curious. Whereabouts? Sorry? No, I said sorry. So that's humor in New Jersey. I am reminded often that I am from California because although I talk really fast, I'm saying stranger and stranger things all the time. But I do think that we live in a time where strange things must be said. I was delighted to be invited to address you about leadership in turbulent times because it's really what I know. I'm an adventurer. And what adventurers really are individuals who have intentionally sought turbulent times, turbulent seas, turbulent weather, unknown places on the map that they could explore and thrive in, and then bring back the news so that the world could grow somehow larger, better, more evolved. Well, it used to be that only certain individuals had to have this set of skills, but today, like it or not, adventure has come to us all. Adventure really is that thing that happens to us when everything else goes right and then suddenly something goes wrong. That's when adventure begins. If you're out camping and your Coleman stove works just fine and the bears never show up at your table and you never run out of gas on the freeway and the rain holds back, you've had a really boring weekend. However, when all the opposite happens, boy, was that an adventure. So I want to suggest that adventure really is nothing more than adversity rightly considered. And since we live in a time of adversity, this is the turbulence to which we all refer, the recession, the earthquakes, the crack in the Washington Monument, by God, these are indeed interesting turbulent times. My suggestion is if we can look at them as an adventure that we share together in that sort of psychic jujitsu, the whole thing becomes, wow, isn't this cool? If you don't do it, it's, wow, this really sucks. That's up to you. So what I'm going to do in the short time that I have is try and convey what I call the best practices of the adventurer. I am successful in that I am not yet dead. If you die as an adventurer, it's pretty much the end of your career. So anyway, and I get to do cool things. I was talking to Mike, where are you, last night at dinner, and I got a call not long ago, a couple of years ago now actually, from the History Channel, and he asked me why they called me. It's because if you look for adventurer anthropologist on Google, you get me. So they called me and they said, we have found this spire, this 150-foot tower off the coast of South America on an island called Robinson Crusoe Island. And we have this archaeologist. Some of you may have seen the show. It was like one of the most watched, had the most watched show for a while on the History Channel. They play it over and over again. We need someone who's an adventurer anthropologist to come down and take a look at this tower. Because this archaeologist believes this is the tower that represents the final key, the last clue to the missing puzzle of the Mayan prophecy of doomsday of 2012. I said, no, I'm too busy. I got stuff to do. No, I said, hey, you know, if it's dangerous and weird, count me in. So we go down, and I'm not going to tell you, you can watch the show if you want. But, so over here I have my little thing. This is a scene from the show. This is an actual picture of a Mayan about 2,000 years ago, standing on top of this pinnacle. And if you believe that, I have a pinnacle in New York City I'd love to tell you. This is the actual pinnacle, and I won't give you the whole story here, except to say that you see us going on over a boat, which is true, 4 days of really bad weather across these savage seas, but then no one seemed to ask how it was that the crew was there photographing us getting off the boat. Yes, we could have flown. Then we get toward the tower, and the director says, just do us a favor. When you first see the tower, don't make any faces. Why is that? He said, because you'll be horribly disappointed. We don't want that to show on camera. So we get there. It is indeed 150 foot of amazing rock. The likeness to the Mayan jaguar or whatever it was supposed to be, I could see nothing. Or it was supposed to be, there was no evidence of any human interaction. Whether or not this is the last place on Earth that the final eclipse of 2012 will be seen or not, I cannot speak with any veracity, authenticity, or credibility, but I can say when I got there, I saw nothing. Whether or not you believe in the Mayan story of the end of the world and all that, we all have to admit we're living in a time of transition. I personally, I'll tell you what I think the Mayans were right. By the way, there are other calendars found in other parts of Mayan world that go past 2012, so don't worry. You know, we're not all going to self-combust. But the Mayans did seem to forecast a changing of an era, that this would be an era of change. They've been very accurate going back over their calendars. Somehow they seem to know that stuff happens wherever they are, that stuff's happening somewhere on the planet, uncannily so. And what this calendar does mark, seems to me, is a change. We know that. We know we're in the change. We know we're in this amazing, literally a sea change of how we live, because as we have lived seems to no longer be tenable. To me, it's as if you come to the edge of a precipice, the only step that makes sense is a step in a different direction. If you step over the precipice, that's your choice. But there are many other more valuable choices, and that's what I want to talk about.